Alright, guys, welcome back. This is my breakdown and review of Black Clover Chapter 353. This one's a lot less action packed than the previous chapters, but I personally still had quite a lot of fun with it. So, we start this chapter right where the last one left off, with the clouds in the sky beginning to be cleared after Asta cut off all five of the dragon heads. And then Ryu mentions that it was Asta's anti-magic that slashed through them, and then Ryu thanks Asta for clearing the clouds. We then see the dragon's heads as they have unfortunately fallen onto people's houses. And then we get a moment that I was really hoping would occur. Asta sees Heath's body and mentions the village fight from back in Volume 1. I personally really wanted an interaction between Asta and Heath, but I would say it's fine because we did get Heath mentioning Asta back in 349. So then Ryu mentions that Lucius's power isn't perfect, but that it's able to resurrect people on the level of Grand Magic Knights. So basically, captain level opponents. This is where I want to delve into a little bit of theories here. So, with the movie coming out in July, the antagonists of that movie are going to be former Wizard Kings. Now, what we might see from the final arc here is something similar with Lucius bringing back former Magic Knight captains. Now, Tabata could get kind of dark here and bring back characters that we know. Two of the name ones that I think would be likely options are Aesir Silva and Zara. For Noelle and Nozelle's mother, I'm not too sure, because at the end of the Megacula fight, we saw Aesir's spirit hugging Nozelle and Noelle and mentioning how much they've grown. So to me, that one kind of seemed like the thematic send-off to Aesir. So I'm not too sure about her coming back. Now, with Zara, I think we could see his return, and Zora could get a big moment in the final arc fighting his father. This could also potentially be an option for us to see Zora's full face, because we saw it when he was younger, but not now when he's in his teenage years. Of course, this is theories, but it's fun to think about. So then Ryu mentions that the Black Bulls are looking for a way to get Asta. Now, again, another theory of mine. I think that when the Black Bulls eventually show up, Yami, Noelle, Mimosa, Sekire, and Yuno will not be with them. My reasoning for this is because they were not a part of Nock's original squad. Now, Nock could have informed them and they could show up for all I know, but personally, I think that they're going to show up and the Ryuzen 7 and possibly Ryu, I'm not too sure because he is the Shogun, so it might just be the Ryuzen 7, are going to go back with Asta to the Clover Kingdom for the rest of the final arc. So, I don't know, maybe. So back to the chapter again here. We see everyone celebrating, and then we get a small line here mentioning that the dragon's skin is very tough. So maybe someone could try to make armor out of it. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to come into play. Then we get a small little comedic moment here of Fumito talking about cooking the dragon. And we also learn that Sister Lily is sleeping. Now, like I said back in 350, I don't think we're going to see her waking up for a while. And then Ichika mentions that Ryu has a good judge of character because Asta killed the dragon and cleared the clouds in the sky. And then Ryu mentions that he hopes they'll pass down tales about Asta along with the rest of them. And Ichika brings up that she was the one to kill the Yami clan, not our Yami. So Ryu remains silent here, and then we get a little panel of Fujito playing his instrument. I don't specifically know what the name of it is. And then we see Drunk Asta, so that's pretty funny. Personally, I find Drunk Asta to be hilarious. Ichigo approaches Asta and then apologizes for bad mouthing Yami. And Asta says that he's thankful that it's all a misunderstanding, and he even says that he's proud of Ichika. And then Ichika leaves. Then Daizemon and Komari show up with the Ochami doll, and Asta asks about this, and Komari gives us a little bit of lore on it, how long ago in the land of the sun there was a famine that almost wiped them out until Ochami saved them. This is just my speculation, but I think Ochami could be like an ancient relative of Charmy because the person in the panel pretty much looks exactly like Charmy. Um, then we see Jozo is down in the dumps about failing from last chapter when Ichika had to come in and save him and deal with the final head. And we actually get to see Jozo's face here, and he has some really nasty scars, specifically one on his right eye and the left side of his mouth. And Komari, of course, tells him, quit feeling so bad. Then I love this part here. Yasuga approaches Asta about any strong women in his country, namely any flame Yojutsu users. And of course, Asta thinks of Mario Leona. I really hope we get an interaction between Yasuga and Mario Leona because, well, Mario Leona is my second favorite character in Black Clover, just behind Asta. And then Asta mentions that he's feeling sick. We also get to see drunk Morifuyu. So Ryu tells Asta to go to the onsen, which is basically just hot springs. And then Daizemon carries Asta there. Asta undresses and gets in the pond. And we get easily the funniest part of this chapter. Ichika was already in the pond. And Asta completely flips out because he thinks that he's going to die. Then, to my surprise, and Asta's, Ichika doesn't react in a pissed off manner. She gets super nervous and blushes, and then Asta just sprints out of there. And then Daizemon mentions he forgot that it's the girl's time. So we cut to the next day, and Asta is walking around, and he sees Ichika. He apologizes to her, and then she says she'll make sure that Asta takes responsibility. I don't know what that means, and neither does Asta. Then Yosuga mentions that Asta's big battle's coming up, and that he's not the kind of guy to sit around and twiddle his thumbs. So he offers for Asta to train with the Ryuzen 7. Of course, Asta's all for it. Then we get a black text box here at the bottom. 3 days until Judgment Day. And we're also on break next week. So I really enjoyed the downtime in this chapter. I really enjoyed this chapter as a whole. I loved all the comedic interactions in it. And I had a lot of fun with this one, just as I have the rest. Yet again, another fantastic Black Clover chapter. And I am looking forward to seeing more from the final arc. And that's going to be all for me today. Bye, guys.